and welcome to Dungeon Stories, everybody. It's great to be back. Another week, another game of Dungeons and Dragons. Here at the top of the show, we'd like to take a moment to shout out a few of our friends. Our friends being D&D Beyond. D&D Beyond lets us make our character sheets, and they let me make the encounters that we face in this wonderful game of Dungeons and Dragons. D&DBeyond.com is a wonderful place to find resources for 5th edition D&D and keep yourself organized in running the game. It's a great resource. Definitely check them out. Next up, we would like to say thank you to Roll20. Roll20 is this wonderful online venue that we are using to play Dungeons and Dragons. It's through Roll20 that we are able to connect via voice and video chat and have a virtual tabletop that everyone in the party can see, so that we can have encounters and use a map and see and talk to each other and play this wonderful game, even though we live pretty far away. So thank you to Roll20 for being a wonderful online venue for us. And finally, thank you to Hero Forge for helping us out with these awesome custom tokens here. Go to heroforge.com to make your own custom miniature. They have fantasy, sci-fi, modern, western, pretty much any genre that you can think of role-playing game that you might want to make a miniature for. They have it. You can customize it, color it, and order it. They're a fantastic service. So definitely check out heroforge.com as well. And now that we have said thank you to our wonderful friends, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Norin, and I'm your Dungeon Master.
Hi, I'm Azel, the Seaweed Man, and I'm cut. I'm East.
Wow, that went flawless.
I'm Easton. I'm playing Azel, the monk. I know, dude. I didn't stumble or anything.
I'm Jenny. I play Alondra, the paladin.
And I'm Michael. I play Aaron the Wizard.
Easton, just so you know, I'm leaving that in. I'm not going to cut that out.
Yes.
With that, let us go ahead and recap what happened last we met. Last time on Dungeon Stories, the party, after hearing the tip about, or rather the accusation from the Barley Roots that the Stonefort family was of suspect and a little untrusted by the community, the party made their way to the Stonefort Cafe to do a little bit of investigating of their own, and it was here that they learned that the seaweed that the Stonefort Cafe received was from a shipping, a trade organization that brought trade from Westport up through Vareos. After dinner, Azel met with Finthobaran, the Deep Gnome, who informed him that he was a paladin of Urnavum and had been given a vision by Urnavum, the god of fate and destiny. This vision was of Azel following a map. Finn recreated this map as best he could, gave it to Azel, and Azel now believes it is of some importance to his personal mission. Meanwhile, Aaron made his way to the Paladin's barracks, where he exchanged a little bit of information that they had gathered, information being severed hands, for spell components, and a little bit of parchment and supplies for him to be able to record future spells that he might come across. Meanwhile, Alondra made her way to the Rubble Rouser, where she intended to do a little bit of investigating about the Journey's End Museum, where she was told to go by Torrent, the god of sea and water and exploration. She learned here that the Journey's End is going to be closed for this foreseeable future because its proprietor has lost his daughter and does not seem to be in a state fit for working anymore. At least for the time being, until someone can bring him some closure to the issue. She also learned that one of the people she was asking about the Journey's End this man had lost his daughter Annabeth a little while ago, and Elandra learned that his daughter was in possession of one of the wooden toys carved by the Elfrona sisters, just like the barley roots. After concluding their individual investigations, the party returned to the Rubble Rouser Inn and Tavern, where they rested for the night. Now, Elandra and Azel, sleep comes to you rather easily. You both have kind of a lot to think about after the days that you had. Azel, you have possibly uncovered the next clue in your search for your father. So that might weigh pretty heavy on your mind, might keep you up for a little bit. Elandra, you kind of awoke this kind of grieving part of yourself while speaking to the father of that you were speaking with. So maybe those lingering memories might keep you up as well. Is there anything that either of the two of you want to do in your rooms before you go to bed?
Alondra will probably just pace back and forth in her room.
Azel,
Go ahead.
before Azel goes to sleep, he's probably gonna. Oh, sorry. What did you say? I think I'm lagging.
Nothing. No one said anything. I just asked if there was anything you needed to take care of before you went to bed. Doesn't have to be.
Azel would probably read a couple pages from his book. Just like take it off the shelf and just read Godsend for a little bit.
Okay.
See if it like mentions anything.
Yeah, this is a book that you've read many times before, and it's interesting because this book, God's End, is written kind of like an epic poem. So think Dante's Inferno or the Odyssey, or maybe even the Iliad. But it is written in that kind of lofty, old language, poetic style. This is a really old form of Celestial that this book is written in. And so it's really dense and kind of hard to understand. And due to the nature of it being an epic poem, it's also like very artsy in form and almost kind of takes itself a little too seriously at times. And so it's hard to kind of piece together exactly what it means, and you kind of pick up on something new every time you read through it. But just at this point in time, you're not reading it to discover anything new. You're just reading it to kind of calm yourself before heading to bed. Am I right in assuming that?
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't a deep scan. It's just sort of a relaxer. And so you read through it. You maybe find your favorite couple of passages in it, your favorite chapter. You know the story at this point like the back of your hand. And so you're able to flip to the parts that you like best to help you calm down. And so you manage to do that. Read through the book and calm down and eventually find some sleep. Aaron. Oh. Hey, I'm going to say this. I didn't mention this. I forgot to at the end of last episode. But I wanted everyone... You might have to keep track of this in the Notes tab of your D&D Beyond. But I would like to give everyone one style point. And I would like to give everyone 1 piety point as well. I feel like in your individual investigations that you guys did, you each kind of did something to further your deity's goals in one way or another. You acted in a way they would approve of. You know, Aaron, you were seeking out information and doing your best to grow your knowledge base. Azel, you had a big kind of personal reconciliation, this big personal milestone that you achieved. So that'll get you a point as well. And the laundry, you have, by promising to rescue this man's daughter and kind of reliving your past at the same time, you know, the event that kind of put you in the service of Torrance in the first place, you've signed yourself up for an adventure of some kind. You're not sure exactly what finding these kids will entail, but you have signed yourself up for the unknown, which is something that Torrance, you know, as the god of exploration, it is something that he very much appreciates. So all 3 of you have earned a piety point, so keep track of those, and then add a style point for that personal milestone that you each accomplished as well. But Aaron, as you are going to sleep, you don't necessarily have as much heavy stuff weighing on you like the other 2 do, so sleep shouldn't necessarily elude you tonight. You are beginning to fall asleep, and right as you're like on that sweet point, about to drop off the ledge into sleep, there is an unfamiliar voice talking to you from within your room, coming from your nightstand next to your bed. And this voice says, "Excuse me. If I'm not mistaken, you're searching for something. Am I correct?" And
Yes.
you look around and there is no person in your room. And this is kind of alarming. You know, this voice sounded like it was coming from a person. And then you look and you see wrapped around your spellbook is a glistening golden snake, like a viper of some kind, is sort of wrapped from the bottom corner on the back, wrapped around the spine, and its head is coming out on the cover of your spellbook. It is wrapped around. It looks like a dangerous kind of poisonous snake. I don't know much about snake species, but a poisonous variety with kind of a flat head and sharp fangs is wrapped around your book. And it's not very long, you know, it's the length of your spellbook from corner to corner. So it's not an exceptionally long snake, but you can tell the way that you have it leaning, its head is pointed at you and the mouth is moving as it speaks.
I would say that I am searching. But what are you searching for?
Well, apparently, I would be led to believe you, though I hope you're not all the answers I'm going to get.
What sort of answers do you seek?
I don't know exactly. You see, I don't seem to remember very well what it is I'm doing, what it is I'm searching for, and so rightly my first order of business is to uncover that secret, the secret of, well, how I ended up here. I don't remember what I was before, but I am rightly certain it wasn't the snake made of gold wrapped around some sweat-infused leather book cover.
Say this book holds more power than the common book, that's for sure.
Well, I would hope so if you're going to be of any use to me.
Perhaps we can come to an arrangement. Do you hope to stay? To watch? To learn?
I don't rightly think I have much of a choice in the matter. I can't move. Your book kind of like rattled a bit on the table, but the snake itself does not shift position wrapped around your cover at all. I seem to be trapped in this form, affixed to this tome.
It appears so, for better or worse. What do you need from me? You seem unsure.
Correct me if I'm wrong, which I seldom am, but you are searching for a book, the Codex. Is that correct?
Yes, although that is not a book or a pursuit known by many.
No, it is
So the
not.
fact you know this is curious in itself.
As I said, for some reason, my memory is not quite what it used to be. But this codex sticks out. It is a tome of ancient secrets of the gods. And, well, I'm sure that the secrets of the gods, if anything, can free me of this serpentine form that I seem to be trapped in. If anything can allow me to expel myself from this leather that seems to be forever intertwined with the secretion of your skin. If anything has the power to liberate me, I believe it is that book. The Secrets of the Gods have to be able to have some part to play in that. Don't you think?
I believe so. And perhaps you will have some part to play in assisting me in this pursuit, besides looking as a fine adornment on said dirty codex tome.
What do you know so far about this codex?
I have a few locations of some potential sites that have clues. An associate and I work together on this, but I cannot say much. Just faint whisperings, the written words on a stone tablet here and there.
Fantastic. That's exactly what I was hoping you would say. It was absolutely nothing. Wow, you've made all my dreams come true by informing me that you have zero information on what it is that we're searching for. Great. I'm glad that out of all the spellbooks I could be attached to, it was yours. Thank you.
I will tell you, the number of spellcasters who would even know of the codex is few indeed. I think you would be unlucky to be on any other mage's textbook.
You think the other mages who know about it know even less than you who knows nothing about it? That's quite the feat, I must say.
It's true. Knowing that something does exist gives its power. And if one does not know it exists, then you would have no power and no sway and nothing. At least with me, you have something and someone who has a desire to find the same thing you do.
I suppose. I also suppose, at any rate, there's nothing I can do about it. At least
No, it does not appear so.
not yet. What do you call yourself, sweaty one?
You may call me Aaron. And what may I call you?
Avaros.
Avaros?
Yes.
Would I know anything about that name?
Make a history check.
Okay. Ah, it's religion. Oh, wait, no, I'm good at history, too. Dirty 20.
Pretty good. You know that Avaros is actually a pretty popular name, because Avaros is the name of one of the first philosophers, way back, like among the first of the mortals. Avaros was one of the first original philosophers. And so the name has become very popular over time because people are naming their kids after the very wise and smart philosophers. So it is a pretty common name, but it is inherently tied to the ancient philosopher.
Okay. Now, how original is this name, Avaros? To you?
I don't know. I don't have memories of what I was before this. I know that this isn't what I was, who I was. But beyond that, beyond the snippets that flash in and out about the Codex, I'm afraid I know about as much as you do.
Nothing? You know nothing.
It
How
would
quaint.
seem that way, wouldn't
Well,
it?
we shall,
Get his ass. Get his ass.
well, perhaps we will be useful to each other, as we both have no position of power, it seems, and no knowledge, so nothing is nothing. We'll see if we can gain a little something here.
I hope so.
For now, I may need my rest.
I hope to the gods that you surprise me, Aaron. But yes, for now, get your sleep, your rest, what have you. I'd hate for you to be tired.
Unfortunately, if I am tired, then that leaves you with no set of legs or no body, so I will rest.
Such is the current arrangement, isn't it? Yes, well, good night, Aaron, my wonderful new friend.
Ah, friend. Good word. See if we can hold its truth between us.
Yes. Okay. Anything else, Aaron?
No, I will just, yeah, I mean, I will just rest. I probably sit there for a good amount of time, just like pretending to be asleep while my mind is racing. But then
Okay.
eventually,
Yeah, it's a little awkward now that you are aware that you have eyes on you as you're attempting to sleep. That's a new feeling. But eventually you are able to find rest. You're able to find your respite. And everyone can go ahead and long rest. So Aaron, you can get those long sought after spell slots back.
thank goodness.
And you all can rest, and you awake in the morning. Make your way downstairs into the tavern proper of the Rebel Rouser. You're able to regroup, and Finthobaran is waiting. He has a table, and he is sitting at a table, and he sees you come down, and he waves you over.
Perfect. Yeah, Basil's for sure gonna go over and pull up a chair.
Okay, great. Elandra and Aaron, do you follow Azel to Finn's table, or do you grab your own?
Oh shit.
I would probably grab my own because he didn't tell us anything, and I think he's just having brunch with someone.
Okay, Aaron?
Yeah, I'll sit by myself and go through the same thing of ritual casting detect magic.
Okay.
That's just like Aaron's go-to. Whatever he has free time. It's just kind of like, you know, if someone was to like play with a yo-yo or something, just mindlessly play with cards, that's Aaron's just like constantly perfecting this ritual down.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so, Azel, your friends split off and grab a table, leaving you to sit with Finn. And as you approach Finthobaran, you notice that instead of his, the leather coat that he'd been wearing and the kind of slacks and linen tunic, he is in that suit of chainmail that you had seen the night before. And he has a sword and shield.
Hell yeah.
And he says, all right, son, I thought it over, and I spoke to your Navum, or at least I reached out and didn't receive a no, so, but I think, at least for a little while until I hear otherwise, I might tag along with you until something becomes apparent that I'm needed somewhere else. If that's all right with you, I don't want to impose.
Of course it's fine, Finn. Of course it's fine. I couldn't imagine it any other way. I have people that I want to introduce you to. And Azel would like take Finn over. Does Azel clearly see Elandra and Aaron?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, yeah. So Azel would bring Finn over, or like, come on, follow me, and then pull up a chair for him, and then Finn, this is my friend Elandra and Aaron. We've met yesterday, or a couple of days. I don't know. The last hours have been a blur. Feels like days.
2 days ago now at this point.
These are my friends.
Yeah, so Azel walks over with this little deep gnome. He's got kind of this deep blue-gray skin. His right eye has a big scar over it. Very clearly he's blind in his right eye. His other eye is kind of bright and gleaming. He's bald and clean-shaven, and he has a big bulbous nose that looks to have been broken multiple times. It looks like it's been shook around every which way. He's dressed in chainmail, and he has a sword and shield on his back. And he walks over and he sits down with the three of you, and he says, hello. My name is Finn Thobar, but you can call me Finn if you'd like.
Yeah, Aaron's still just kind of like drawing these little like blue runes and like pushing them out and drawing on the table, and they just kind of like lift up and without even just looking at him. Hey Finn, busy at the moment, but I hear Azel is a fan of you, so welcome.
Alondra will stick out her arm and be like, Alondra Oliveira, nice to meet you.
He'll kind of stand up on his chair to be able to reach his tiny arm across the table, and he'll shake your hand and he says, it's a real pleasure to meet the both of you. I don't know what Azel has told you about me, but he said that it would be alright if I tagged along with you for a little bit. If I understand correctly, you're looking for the missing kids, aren't you?
That is true, yes.
That is a noble endeavor, and I would be honored to accompany you at least until, well, someone tells me not to.
You mean us? Well, you're welcome, but not sure who would tell you.
If not you, then the one I've sworn my oath to. The name's your knave. He kind of gets quiet as he says that name and kind of looks around. The god of fate, destiny. And I think it might be my fate to tag along at least for a little bit.
Interesting.
Well, welcome. Take a seat.
All right, and he will. He'll take a seat. Anything else? What are you guys looking to take care of here at dinner before you head out? What's your plan of action for today?
Well, I guess we would kind of go over if we had anything of what we've learned in our own independent investigations.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. So you guys can totally share that information with one another. I won't make you explain anything. In real life, you all listened to everyone else's adventures, so you can share the info that you gathered. Azel, do you mention your map and your personal journey? What's your protocol on that?
He wouldn't show the map. Azel will probably bring up what he feels like is his responsibility and his mission in a very kind of like plain manner. He would look over to Alondra and Aaron and, after all of this is sorted out with the kids, I kind of have to go to Western Boreos. something's waiting for me there, and I can't do it alone. I know we've only known each other for a couple of days, but
Oh no, go ahead.
no, continue.
Oh.
It's okay. No, it's fine. Go on.
I was gonna ask, is
You have the floor.
it another jungle?
No, it's a mountain range. Is it a jungle? Get out of here. It lies somewhere in the mountain range of Western Boreas. Something's calling me there, and I have to go find it. But I can't go alone. And Finn's here with me. I was hoping that you could help me once we figure out what's going on here.
I'm heading out anyway, so it's always good to have company.
We'll see if you can prove yourself.
Wow, alright. I will take note of that attitude. Why are you headed out that way, Aaron?
Long story short, it's just some old books and old rhythms, honestly. I can give you quite a bit of the codex.
Have I heard of the codex?
Make a history check for me.
Oh, easy money. Yeah, it's been a roll.
Okay, I'll roll.
Hazel got an 11. Alright, no, Hazel. Yeah, Hazel got an 11.
History. Why did I got 14?
Okay, Finn got a 15. I'm gonna say no. None of you guys have not heard of the Codex. That is unknown to you.
I've never heard of that book, Aaron.
Same.
It's not many that have, unfortunately, so to summarize, I'm looking for ghost tales and legends.
But it's just ghost tales and legends in the codex. What is the codex? Just like a big tome of like different like poems and stuff.
It contains knowledge of certain things that might apparently have been lost. So I want to find it.
Things about history, or what things lost? Artifacts?
All of the above really is record of the gods and his history of man and magic, arcana, and deity. All of it. That's why I seek it, because it has this knowledge that's hidden from those today, and who knows they have not recorded within it. So,
Why do you want to get your
as they say.
Why do you want to get your hands on that?
It's a good question. Suppose because no one else has their hands on it is one answer.
What's another answer?
I think it might be as simple as that. It contains knowledge that so few have, and if it's something that has been hidden away and lost, then but still kept, still hidden, it must be important of some sort to have not been lost through time, but been kept hidden and become a legend in time. There are only so few items that this happens to, and they all have great power to them.
How long have you been looking for the coast?
Well, I suppose I've been looking for something of its type for most of my adult life, but really only the past few years have I been able to have a name to it, and truly started my search. And it's only recently that a colleague of mine and myself have truly set out on this adventure.
Finn says,
Do I have like?
you said you and a colleague set out, but where's your colleague, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, truth be told, I can't tell you his exact location, but I know that he is traveling, I believe, in the northern area of this continent. We split ways, and he was to cover some ground, and I was to cover the other, and hopefully one day we'd be able to meet with what we found. Cover more area.
So you're not just looking for it for yourself?
No, we're doing it together. Two minds that think alike. And I suppose if you're going with me, then that makes all of us looking for it. And 4 minds definitely are better than 2, so we'll see what we all have to offer in this pursuit.
Well, you're in Rubbleton. Why didn't you just go straight to the mountains?
Well, I was looking for our friend here who disappeared. We were supposed to find him at his house, and he was supposed to have information, but as you know, all we found were hands. So that's why I'm wrapped up in this business. We need to find the true source of what's happening here.
You're saying all you found was hands. What exactly do you mean by that?
So did you not bring your friend Finn up to speed?
Huh? Oh no, it was just kind of on the fly that I invited him.
Interesting.
I'll rummage through
But,
my satchel, find a hand.
Oh no! Please, not the hands.
Oh, by the gods, that's nasty.
I'm saying.
Well, you're looking at one. It's one of the few clues we have about these missing children, believe it or not. So,
did you cut it off, or was it like that when you found it?
it was like this. Something cut it off, though.
Apparently, huh? They don't just fall off like that. At least, I hope not. Kind of shakes his arm. Yeah. Well, what's on the agenda for today? I know you've been investigating the past few days. Do you have any solid leads you're pursuing at the moment?
I think it would be a good idea to visit the Farthington family.
That's the other family. Kind of
Yes.
like trying to bring that up to speed with Finn. Like, oh yeah, the other family that the Paladins recommended we, question.
Huh. Yeah, no, Althor he's a good man. I know where they live. I could lead the way if you'd like me to.
Yeah, that would be great.
Definitely.
All right, well...
Did I ever finish that cast? Or did it get interrupted?
Yeah, I think you might have got a little carried away in the conversation. I think it's safe to say that your attention was diverted. Would you agree?
That makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, so I would say no, you didn't make it to the end of it. You probably had to abandon the ritual to converse this fully with Finn and the gang. But Finn says, well, whenever you're ready, I could lead you over there. Just let me know.
Yes, let me just finish this breakfast.
You got breakfast?
Obviously.
Yeah, breakfast is included with your room, so they'll
All right.
bring it out and serve you.
I got breakfast too.
Oh boy.
But yes, you guys can finish up eating.
Cool.
It's a nice, like a dwarven style porridge. So it's these really thick cut grains, these heavy iron grains, and it's mixed with brown sugar and a little bit of maple and some fresh berries, as well as just a little hint of like a sweet kind of brandy as well, just for a little bit of flavor. It seems almost everything that's traditional dwarven cuisine has just a splash of booze in it, regardless of the time of day. Which, Aaron, growing up half dwarf, is definitely natural to you. As a half dwarf, this is something that you're accustomed to. But for the rest
Just
of you,
like home.
for the rest of you, having the bite of brandy in your morning porridge is maybe a little shocking at first, but once you get into it, you're like, oh yeah, this is rad. More people should do this.
Delightful.
Yeah, this is rad, man.
It's not that much. But you guys finish up your breakfast. Finn, his is gone almost as soon as it's in front of him.
Hungry boy.
He can, little man
Gotta
can put
eat.
it away, it seems. But once you all have finished, Finn is kind of waiting for the rest of you to finish. He obviously finishes first, and he's kind of waiting for the rest of you to finish up. And then he will lead you to the Farthingtons place. And the Farthingtons place of residence is one of the nicest places that you have seen in Rubbleton. You get the sense that this family makes money. And those of you that have kind of asked about the Journey's End, this is clearly because the Journey's End is a big tourist attraction in Rubbleton. So he makes quite a bit of money running that place, and it's pretty evident from the house. This is 3 stories and might have a basement from what you can tell, judging from the outside. And it's actually got a lawn that has hedges that have been trimmed and flowers growing in a pretty nice garden. Like, this is a well-kept place. It has an iron fence with a gate, and the gate doesn't seem to be locked. You can just push it open and approach the front door. And Finn will do that. Finn, he's been here before. He knows these people, so he just walks up and pushes open the gate and walks up to the front door, and he gives a little knock. And then he looks back and he says, he sees the rest of you kind of standing outside the gate, and he says, care to join me up here? Kind of beckons you to join him on the doorstep.
This is the home that has they bought stuff from the Elfronis sisters, correct?
This is the two families were hit on the very first night that kids went missing. This is one of the two families. So
okay.
I don't think it has been confirmed anywhere that this family has bought anything from the Elfrona sisters yet, but they are one of the first original victims, and they're among the first two names that the paladins gave you.
Okay.
But after Finn knocks, a little bit goes by, and the door is opened, and there is a man that looks to be in his 50s, late 50s, probably pushing it. His hair is kind of salt and pepper, and he has mutton chops, human man mutton chops that are kind of black with these skunk stripes going down them. And he sees Finn, and he says, Finn, what brings you here? Who might your friends be? And Finn kind of looks up at you, Hazel, expectantly.
Hi, sir. My name is Hazel Everwind. Me and my friends here are on a task force. We were organized to help find the missing children. We were hoping we could take a little bit of your time and investigate your home, and try to kind of ask you more about the night that they disappeared.
The man who you can assume is Alfor Farthington. He says, yes, we heard tell, or Althor, sorry, A-L-T-H, not A-L-F, Althor. He says, yes, we heard tale of the Paladins task force. By all means, we invite you in. It's what happened, not just to our family, but to the town, is truly a tragedy, and we would welcome any help that you might be able to offer in finding our dear Annabeth. We've tried to keep the room as untouched as we can, just because, more than anything, it's hard to go in there. But I guess it means we haven't disturbed what evidence there might be, even though ourselves and the Paladins haven't found much. But by all means, we would welcome more sets of eyes. Please follow me. And he'll lead you in, and he'll walk you up the stairs to the second floor, and he leads you into like a main foyer of this very wealthy looking estate, and he leads you up the stairs of the manor. I kind of use that term loosely. It's not ostentatious enough to be a manor, but it is a rather large house, and he'll lead you up to the second floor of it and into the bedroom. And he'll lead you into a pretty standard looking children's bedroom. There is a wardrobe on one corner, and there's a little desk that has kind of a mini like child's vanity on it that has there's a little bit of ink and papers that look to be used for kids' drawings. There are some drawings obviously done by a child, kind of hung up, and these are rather good drawings. That none of the kids are usually above like 11ish according to the Paladins, and for an 11-year-old these drawings are pretty darn good. They're obviously not masterpieces, but for an 11-year-old this is pretty talented drawings that this child has done. And there are probably 3 or 4 of them hung up on the walls, and more in various stages of production on the desk. Then there's a bed that has a pretty nice, looks like a homemade quilt on it. And he says, Althor kind of gestures and beckons into the room, and he says, please feel free to look around and, inform me if you find anything that the other groups that have looked over it have not found yet.
I'll start ritual casting
Okay.
Landra will turn to Elthor and ask, I wouldn't suppose that Annabeth had a wooden figurine or something?
Um, I don't believe so. Why do you ask?
The barley roots and another child, whose also name is Annabeth, were taken, and they both have had wooden figurines that they liked to play with, and I was just wondering if it was a trend with all these kids, so that's why I was asking.
Um, I don't, I mean, no, she didn't have. She preferred to draw more than she liked playing with toys. Where did these wooden dolls come from?
The Aphronis sisters.
You think the sisters are involved in this in some way?
I do, yes. Did you buy anything from them?
Yes, Annie got her ink refilled by the Alphronis sisters. She bought 2 new bottles of ink for her paintings, for her drawings. They're on the desk there. I believe those are them.
Can Alondra go up to the desk and inspect the ink bottles?
Can I like hold out my arm and say, "One moment, please"?
Azel's gonna ask Althor, how long has it been? Or where do you think your daughter would have gone?
I mean, if I knew, that's where I would be. Um, I'm afraid I don't know, but it's been. We lost her the same night that the Barley Roots lost their twins, about almost a month at this point. Um, we were among the first, and well, we were the first along with the Barley Roots, and we hoped. We never wished this upon any of the other families in town, but here we are. Almost 30 children gone. It's terrifying.
Do you think that there's somebody in the town that would wish it upon you?
There are, many of the farmers in town are jealous of my station. My family does well for itself, running to Journey's End. We've made quite a profit. It's a rather valuable business venture that we run there, and so I'm sure there are many in the town who are jealous of the gold that I've accumulated over the years, but no one stands out as ever acting hostile on that jealousy. And we're not the only towns to be losing people either. It seems that there are rumors of Bloom's Edge and Cobble losing children as well, but I've been so focused on my own I haven't tuned in to the rumors much.
Can Alondra look around looking for maybe anything similar that she found at the Barley Roots? Whether it's in the room or she goes outside.
Yeah, which one do you want to do? Do you want to do in the room or do you want to do outside?
Outside, because that's where she found it last time.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and make an investigation check for me, Alondra.
Investigation check. That is a 16.
Okay, yeah, 16's pretty good. I'll say that walking around the base of the house, her room is up on the second floor. Walking around the base of the house, let's see. So you grew up on the coast. So I will say that below her window, you notice it kind of just barely catches your eye. But this house is made of stone, and on the stone, you can see these little tiny, minuscule white specks that are kind of affixed to the stone in a pathway kind of leading up to the room. And they're small enough that without growing up on the coast like you have, knowledge, your experience of growing up on the coast, like you have, you probably wouldn't even have noticed it or been able to place what it was. But this looks like the way that when a sea breeze would take sea foam off the buildings and blow it against the buildings. This looks like sea salt dried onto the side of this building. And it does not seem to be like the entire side of the building is covered. It is just a maybe 3 or 4 foot wide path, and it looks to be, you can see it at the base of the house, and it kind of moves up towards the window of the bedroom. But it looks like there is sea salt, almost unnoticeable, dried onto the house leading up to the window.
Interesting. She would probably scrape some of the sea salt and either put it in the same compartment of her backpack where she has the seaweed and that long fingernail, and then go inside if she doesn't see anything else, back to the bedroom to see
Okay. Yeah,
what Aaron
like
found.
there's not a ton of it, and so it taking it into your bag to like save for later. It's almost like if you visit the beach or like the sand dunes, and then you go home and there's like a little bit of sand in your pocket, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. So it's like just very minuscule. Like if you scraped your finger along the bottom of the compartment, you could like feel it, but it's not like a pile of salt that's visible. It's just like a pinch. But yeah, I mean, you're able to collect a little bit of it, enough to be able to say, "Hey, look, I found some salt." And you make your way back into the house and back upstairs. And during this time, while Alondra is out there, Aaron, your detect magic will ping again, and you'll finish the ritual, and you will notice the divination aura coming from the ink bottles, just like you did in the Barley Roots house.
Is it like it's just the divination? It's not like the undead necromancy, right?
You're not
that
getting
I
the
felt
necromancy
from where
no.
the eyes and stuff appeared. Okay.
Yeah. You get the sense the necromancy aura that was there was from the eye that was hiding inside of that one vase. So with the absence of the necromancy, you get there's probably not an eye or hand within the radius of you.
Okay. Perfect. Would it be possible to do like, I guess Alondra already did like an investigation check of the area.
She did it outside the house.
Outside? Can I do one inside here? especially in like regions where I felt that presence.
Yeah. So that's going to be concentrated on the desk because it's the 2 bottles of ink that are sitting on top of the
Okay.
desk. So
Yeah,
yes,
then I
go
would
ahead
do
and make
that.
an investigation check to search that area.
Okay. That's a 17.
Okay, awesome. So you approach the desk and you are looking around it. You notice that for the 2 bottles of ink, one of them is a bottle of black ink, one of them is a bottle of green ink. And the color of this green ink is very much akin to the green of the oozes that popped out of the vases at the barley roots. And you notice
Why is it green?
it looks like Annie may have had a slight spillage. She may have knocked over the green ink bottle because there is a trail of dried green leading from the table and dripping down off of it. But it is the exact same green as the ooze.
I'll walk to. There's a window to this room, right?
Yes, correct.
Azo, would you mind throwing this ink, well, out the window, preferably fast?
Is there a reason I'm throwing a stolen girl's ink out the window?
Do you recall the slime that we fought earlier?
Yeah, Azel, at that, Azel's gonna huck it out the window. Not even the words after slime. Once he hears slime, he's gonna try to huck it out the window.
Okay.
Counting on this quick monk dexterity.
All right. Yeah.
Oh.
Azel, would you roll a dex save for me?
Easy. That's a nat 20.
Okay, awesome. You take the ink and you chuck it, and as you throw it, splurging out of it is an ooze, little tiny ooze, just like you had seen at the Barley Roots house. But you throw it quick enough that this ooze launches out, and then just with the momentum, just gets tossed with the ink bottle, and it like lands on the cobblestone of the road below.
I was gonna say, could I try and like shoot it, like we're playing ski?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and make your attack roll. Firebolt?
Pull!
Or are you gonna
Yeah,
magic missile it?
that's. I'm going to. You say no to the fire?
No fire.
No, I would have done magic missile.
Okay.
Just like these 3 things just.
Yeah. So it has this little ink vial launches out, and this cloud of green mucus-like ooze explodes out of it. You see again that ghastly image of a face kind of imprinted in the ooze, and then 3 magic missiles pop, pop, pop. They just pound into it, and then it falls and it hits the cobblestone and just splatters into a puddle, completely inert, and the ink bottle shatters.
Did we kill a kid?
Between the damage from the magic missile that struck it and the fall and the shatter, you have rendered this ooze defenseless.
That was the only ooze, right? The only one I perceived.
Yeah, if you run back over and check the bottle of black ink, there does not seem to be an ooze within it.
Okay. So there seemed to be. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Perfect.
Off that, Azel, with his limited knowledge in Arcana, he's gonna try to see if anything else in the room has the same vibe as like the pottery from the barley roots and see if like anything matches like that kind of vibe. He doesn't really have like a specific way of knowing, so he just goes off of like, okay, that feels bad.
Vibe check.
Okay.
He's gonna vibe check whatever's in the room.
I can help too with, if it's Arcana, I can help you, or even whatever else.
I mean, Aaron, I
Hazel's
would
gonna
say you
take all
would
the
still
help.
have your detect magic up, and Aaron, with your detect magic still up, there's not anything else.
Okay, I was gonna say I'd like to like peruse
Norm, would
the
he
house
have
if I can
picked
get
up
away with it.
the wooden horse that I'm carrying from the other Annabeth?
Once you come within range of him, yeah, the other wooden horse that you have would totally start with divination.
Oh,
But yeah, it doesn't seem other than the wooden horse in Alondra's bag and the inkwell with divination. That seems to be all in the vicinity. And if you take a walk around the house, Althor would tell you that the only thing that they bought the last time the sisters were in town was the ink bottles to refill for Annie's art.
Okay. Did I notice if she had a stack of parchment by any chance?
You're gonna yoink some parchment?
She does have some parchment.
Homegirl's missing and you're gonna steal her paper?
I'm going to ask the
The
father
bro
nicely.
Can I steal your daughter's paper?
Might I make use of this parchment?
As you ask that, Averos's voice appears in your head. He says, using child's sketch paper for a spellbook. That's very classy, Aaron. I'm glad that I'm here with you. And Althor will say, please take what you will. I would rather have my daughter back than blank paper.
Thank you. See, this is what I'm thinking, guys.
Right, yeah, okay. First hands, now random girl's parchment. Okay, cool.
All right, guys. Anything else that you? Anything else around this place? Anything else you want to ask Althor? Anything else around the Farthington's house that you are interested in?
No, I think Hazel got his fill. He got to throw something, so.
In the spot where Alondra saw the kind of seesaw trail, is there any on the ground leading out of the house that she could notice?
Not that is. I mean, like I said, they have a yard, so it's like grass. It's not.
Okay.
It's not cobble, so it didn't really have an area on the ground to affix itself to like it did on the wall.
Okay. That's all she would have done.
Okay. So as you guys are leaving the house, Finn is gonna say, "Well, I can tell you one thing, and that's that you're much more thorough than the paladins. So good job on that. It's you almost seem like real professional investigators, and it's a joy to watch you."
Thanks.
Aw.
Day 2 of this.
Yeah, we stay on this grind.
So what's your plan now? Where do we head next in this mystery?
I don't know. Don't you think we should probably look into the Aphronis sisters?
I agree with Alondra. I think there's enough fingers pointing towards them that it wouldn't hurt to do a little more investigating into their name.
I think there's more we can do. Detecting the horse, Alondra, I'd ask, where is it that we got this?
Oh yes. Yesterday during my kind of investigation to find more about the museum that Mr. Farlington owns, I came across a group of elves and a halfling. One of the elves actually lost one of their children. Her name was also Annabeth. She was stolen, and she had this wooden horse, which I took with me as I remembered that the Barley Root kids also had a wooden horse, and thought this would be a good clue or a good connector within all the missing children. But all we got were some ink parcels in the last one.
True. We did find something with ill intent.
But that is true.
But still not too much closer to our goal. I mean, we can go around to all of these houses and take out these oozes, but it doesn't bring us closer to catching who's doing it, per se. If we found any sort of trail we can follow.
I did find some a sea salt trail leading up to Annabeth's window at the Farlington's house, but unfortunately due to the grass on the ground I wasn't able to find the trail leading out of it.
Is there anywhere nearby that might have seaweed or anything? Finn?
Well, the stone
No, not around here. I mean, we're pretty landlocked. You guys are right about here, kind of in the middle of Reyes. Says I don't know where sea salt or seaweed would come from, but if it's the Aphronis sisters you're looking for, they were just here a week ago, maybe a bit more. Usually they circle from here to Bloom's Edge to Cobble, so they're heading to Bloom's Edge next. We might be able to. They're heading south to Bloom's Edge. If we went, northeast to Cobble, we might be able to meet them there once they left.
Seems like
Sounds
a decent
plan. I think that's a wise decision.
I personally believe that the work that we've been doing can easily be done by the paladins, so we can let them take care of the various oozes and eyes and hands, and perhaps talk to these sisters and get to the bottom of this.
Tell the paladins to
I agree.
tell people to get rid of whatever they bought, and let them handle that while we head out.
Seems like a good course of action.
All right. It's about 9 or 10 days from here to Cobble. So it's about 7 or 8 from Cobble to Bloom's Edge. So, we might just intercept them right at the same time. Or if not,
before they get
Stretch
to
my legs a
Cobble.
little.
while in Cobble, or if we're taking the road, if they leave Cobble before we get there, we'll run into them if we're heading towards it. Usually they just circle. So if we circle the opposite direction that they do, then at some point our paths will cross, right?
That's
That
how
logic
it
follows.
seemed to go, yeah.
Well,
Well,
any supplies you need to stock up on before a journey? I mean, it's not too far, and it's not too dangerous. There is a road marked, but bandits and creatures, you can never be too safe. Anything that you need to take care of before we leave?
Perhaps we can bring a paladin with us.
You've got one.
we've already got 2 paladins, though.
He points at himself.
Yeah! Hell yeah,
Right.
Finn.
Better than these lazy sacks of sacks.
All right.
Well,
All right.
I think I'm set.
Yeah.
I haven't-
Any supplies you guys want to stock up on? Anything you need to take care of? You'll stop by the paladins and ask them to take care of this business. You'll kind of tell them the situation, and they're a little taken aback at first because no one has, these people have been dealing with the Elfrona sisters for a while, so the fact that the suspicion is falling onto the sisters is a little unsettling. But you've presented enough evidence that they would have to try really hard to deny some sort of connection after the evidence that you've presented to them. So they'll agree to go around and tell people to get rid of whatever they got from the Elfrona sisters, and kind of keep an eye out for the dangers, the hands and the oozes and the eyes that you guys have told them about. Are there any supplies that you need to stock up on before you leave?
I think just basic food.
Can I go to the journey's end?
It's closed.
Yeah, we can stop by. So Finn will say that there's no need to waste your gold on chewy, dry rations. I'm something of a chef, and I'll keep us covered on that front. Don't you worry about it.
Oh, thank the gods.
That I can attest to. I can attest to that. He is a damn good chef.
And then, you can stop by the Journey's End on your way out. This place is clearly, this isn't a residential building. This is a few stories tall. It's got big, nice glass windows, and it has these big double doors in front, but these double doors have wooden boards across them, and there's that sign on it hanging up front that says, closed until further notice. Everything's boarded up. The windows are they have these big fabric sheets kind of blocking off the view inside.
Damn. Okay. We'll deal with that when we figure out this mystery then.
Okay. All right.
Onward!
So with the business taken care of in Rubbleton, you set off to the northeast towards Cobble. You hit the road with your new pal Finn, and that's where we'll go ahead and end this episode of Dungeon Stories.
Sweet!
Yeah, so we'll pick up with that journey next week.
Yay!
When next we roll. Everyone, we just want to say thank you so much for tuning in to Dungeon Stories. It means the world to us. If you are watching on YouTube, feel free to leave a like if you liked it, comment if you've got something to say, subscribe to the channel if you want to catch more Dungeon Stories. If you're listening on iTunes, don't forget to leave us a rating. Of course, the higher the better, and that really just helps the podcast grow and get seen by more people, so that helps a lot. And then regardless of how you are tuning in to Dungeon Stories, feel free to tell people about us, share us, follow us on socials. We're at Stories Dungeon on Instagram and Twitter. Dungeon Stories is our Facebook page, so you can find us on all those. Feel free to reach out, interact with us, share us, and just tell people about us. Spread the word. If you feel like it, do whatever you want. I don't want to tell you what to do. Do whatever you feel like. But regardless, the fact that you are hearing this message, whether you choose to take it or not, the fact that you're listening to it means the world to us. So thank you so much for listening to Dungeon Stories. We really appreciate you coming along on the adventure. And with that, we'll see you next week, everyone. Bye.
Bye.